Hello everyone, welcome back. It is CoachFury here, and I am back today with episode 9 of our Chicago Bulls Let's Play series in the modern era of Draft Day Sports Pro Basketball 21. And well, for those of you who've been following along, we are in the playoffs. We managed to get into the playoffs with a .500 record, and well, I mean the first round couldn't have gone any better for us. We were definitely the underdogs, but we managed to knock out the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets of Durant and Irving. No James Harden in this Let's Play series. He hadn't yet traded at the start of this one to the Brooklyn Nets. And well, we managed to do it in 7 games, and we basically caused a bit of an upset, really, knocking out one of the top seeds in the Eastern Conference. And my goodness me, have we got a challenge for ourselves today. We are up against the Boston Celtics, who are the number 3 seed. We were obviously number 7 seed coming into this. And well, we're 1 game away now, we're 1 series away from the Eastern Conference Finals, and well, it's going to be a tough order for us to get there, but who knows, maybe with a bit of strategy and a bit of thoughtful process we might get there. But before we talk a little bit about the strategy and about how we're going to play, we'll take a little recap of the other games. So we obviously have the Warriors against the Lakers, which is a fantastic matchup. Really interesting in terms of how those two teams are going to do. I would probably say the Lakers should go through in that one, just because they are slightly better in terms of star power at this stage of their life. They then have the Denver Nuggets against the Phoenix Suns. The Suns are phenomenally good in this, and I expect the Suns to go through. Chris Paul and Devin Booker are just an insane backcourt. And then we have the Bucks against the Pacers. So the Pacers are 5th seed against the number 1 Bucks. I would be surprised if the Bucks don't go through in that one, given the fact that they basically went 4-0 against the Knicks, had a really good season. But that leaves us, the Chicago Bulls, up against the Boston Celtics, a real tough matchup for us. And well, I mean, let's have a little look at the Boston roster before we kind of start. I mean, on paper, they've got a lot of really good players, and a star player in Jason Tatum, who is just having a crazy good season at power forward for them. He's a bit of an undersized power forward, but that doesn't seem to make a difference. Scoring ability 95. He is just a phenomenal scorer. I mean, look at that. I can't remember the last time I saw a player have green all over across the whole court. Just a really, really phenomenal talent, to be honest with you. And well, he's going to be very, very tough to stop. Outside of that, they have Jalen Brown, who is a pretty good scorer himself. Probably not on Tatum's level, but still looks like a pretty good player. And then they have obviously Kyle Lowry, who they traded for at the deadline. So on paper, they've got 3 really good players, and it's going to be really tough to kind of stop them. I mean, the main thing is if we can stop Tatum and at least force other guys to make shots, then that's always a good start for us. So how are we going to line up? Well, first thing that we've done here, you'll probably notice, is we've tweaked the depth chart to begin with for game 1. We've kept the big 3 of Clark, Jackson Jr. and Carter Jr. in sort of our forward and centre positions, but we have moved Jackson Jr. over to centre and Carter over to the power forward position. And the reason for that really is because Carter Jr. has a better ability at drawing fouls than Jackson Jr. And I'm basically hoping that someone like Carter Jr. can at least cause Tatum into a bit of foul trouble, and at least force him to have to play defense. Whether that works or not, honestly, I don't know. It's just a theory we're playing with. And then on the defensive side, we've made a couple of adjustments there as well, and let's talk about that. So we're going to stay with passive for the first game. If a team can beat us by 3-point shooting, that's fine. We kind of have to live with that. But I want to force guys, to stop drives, because the pace and space type of offense that Boston will run, we want to stop them driving in entry passes, more outside shots. That's fine. We have length that we can hopefully do to achieve that. And then we've put a couple of specific matchups in for this one. Brandon Clark is going to basically be guarding Jalen Brown when he's on the court, and Patrick Williams is going to be guarding Jason Tatum. So we're putting our sort of 2 better defenders on these guys to see if that has an impact. And we're going to stay with a grind offense. It seemed to work pretty well for us in the first matchup, and we'll see how that goes. In terms of the actual philosophies themselves, I don't think I'm going to change anything really for the first game. We'll keep a bit of zone, keep a bit of full court defense in there, and kind of see how it goes. in the first game. Maybe we'll adjust the zone forward or back a bit if we get into some foul trouble. But that's how we're going to start off this series. And as usual, if we get to crunch games, we will go through and obviously sim through and watch them. But yeah, it's going to be a real tough one, this one. So game 1, we are on the road obviously for the first couple. Let's see how we get on. Can we cause yet another upset and beat the Boston Celtics in the second round of the playoffs here? And we start off to a fantastic start. We managed to win the first game by 12 points. Let's have a little look. So, that's brilliant. Carter Jr. had a fantastic game of 28 and 7, causing a real defensive mismatch for Tatum there, certainly. Everyone sort of played pretty well. We're obviously playing a very short lineup in comparison to Boston here. But on paper, looking very, very good. Williams had a fantastic night off the bench as well. So did White. Perfect shooting. Looking good. They obviously had a great shooting night as well, but so did we. We caused them into a few turnovers as well, which is good. We didn't steal the ball a great deal, but I'm not too worried about that. We didn't get into too much foul trouble, which is fantastic. So I guess we're not going to make any changes unless there are any injuries. No, there are not. So we're going to go to game 2. Can we come away and take away home court advantage from the Celtics? And we can. We have won game 2. Oh my goodness me. Oh my god. I did not expect this to happen. So we won by 10 in that game. And actually played some really good defense against them. Jackson Jr. having a good game this time. Putting up 24 points. That front three is looking really phenomenal at this stage. Again, a couple of bench players had to be utilised, I guess, in this one. By the looks of it. Young had a good game. White had a good game. Williams had a good game. Looking very, very good on paper, I have to say. On their side, Tatum's shooting okay, but only 15 points. We obviously, whilst he's not getting into foul trouble, he is definitely slowing him down despite playing huge amounts of minutes. So that's great news for us. If we can hold them to that sort of thing and grind it out with results like this, I will certainly take that. And you can see obviously their 3-point numbers are definitely well up in comparison to us. We are kind of forcing them into that outside shot. So game 3, we are at home. Can we take a 3-0 lead against the Celtics? And we can. We are up by 11 in that one. Oh, error message. Let's go back and have a look. 1 by 11. Oh my goodness me. I did not expect this. I thought it'd be a real battle. Brandon Clark with 41 points in this one. Tatum had 34, but he's not getting much support outside of that, it looks like. The bench is pretty much, they're running a very deep bench, I have to say. Obviously, we're delving into it, but when we're up, we kind of can. But, they're looking good. Our shooting numbers are pretty great. Clark, 17 of 21, Clark was in that game, 41 points. Jackson Jr., 21 points. Bledsoe with 21. That's awesome. That's really, really, really good performance. And yeah, we are forcing them into that outside shot. And whilst they're shooting actually not too bad a volume at that percentage, we are causing problems for them in that sense. So we are in game 4 of this game of this series. Can we get a complete sweep of the Boston Celtics? We're of course going to watch this game, and we're going to put it on AI control, of course. And here we are. So no changes for the Celtics, no changes for us. We haven't had to make any adjustments. We are 3-0 up. So can we, in our final home game, secure this one, get a sweep done, and basically be over and done with by the early on in this second round? Well, I honestly did not expect to get to this stage. It's all pressures on us now, being 3-0 up. We just need to win one game. We'll obviously fast play it until we get to later on in the game itself. Yep, good. We haven't got any pauses, which is good. So we'll fast speed ourselves through. Up early here, 6-0 lead. 9-2. Look at that. We forced them into 28% shooting early on. We are certainly putting up a really good defensive performance against this Celtics team at this stage. They have pegged us back now. This is obviously do or die for this Boston Celtics team, and I guess on paper they are going to be very disappointed if they don't get through against us, considering we are only a 7th seed in this series. But the first quarter is certainly looking okay for us. We have stretched out a bit of a lead here. Temple having a great night, 4 of 4 shooting as well. and nobody else is really kind of supporting this Celtics team outside of and Tatum and Lowry, it looks like. And we have forced them into 36% shooting. So, 12 basically shooting them and forcing them into 3-point shots, and they are 4 of 14 from there. So they are living and dying by their ability to make a 3-point shot as we basically collapse the paint area with our big three to force them into that type of style of play. As we stretch out a massive lead now in this second quarter. It's looking very promising at this stage. Pressure is definitely on this Celtics team now to try and come back at some point in this game. At least force us into another game in this series. But we are up by 10. They have pegged us back a little bit. Their numbers are up slightly better. Jalen Brown is 0 of 5, so that's certainly not helping them in that stage. But Derrick Rose has actually come back in and playing a little bit more minutes actually today. But for us, Clark with 13 points, Bledsoe with 11 points, 8 assists, 3 rebounds and a steal already. And we are looking really good. So we put up 65 points at this first half to their 48. And we are shooting 59% in this first half. And as you can see here, looking at it, looks like Lowry got into foul trouble fairly early on. So did Brown. So both of them have basically been out for most of that half, and it certainly has impacted them because they've had to bring in the likes of Jeff Teague and Rose early on, which is not going to help them. On our side, Carter Jr. got into foul trouble fairly early on, and so did Young. So going to be interesting to watch to see if they can, any of those foul issues continue to persist for both teams going into the second half. But at the moment, we have a nice sizable lead at this stage. Just a case of where we can hold on now as they start to probably bring maybe some of those starters back in. Jason Tatum is having definitely a terrible shooting night, 4 of 10 now. And we've definitely got the matchup nicely sorted for him in terms of putting a decent defender on him. He has been struggling so far in this series. Despite that, he's putting up good numbers though. But he's not got much support outside of that as we continue to maintain a pretty sizable lead in this one. Our starting 5 actually scoring pretty well across the board. Everyone in sort of 10 points plus now for our starting 5 as we wind down this third quarter here. Jackson Jr. with a double-double now, 18 and 12, 3 blocks as well to his name. And we're looking pretty good. We have forced them. We basically put up a really good defensive performance at this stage. 39% shooting. Jason Tatum is definitely fighting his hardest to bring the Celtics back into this one with 27 points now. It's going to be tough though. 14-point gap, 16-point gap now to try and bring back, and we will slow it down probably for the last couple of minutes and just enjoy the moment as I think this is going to be a little bit too far for the Celtics to kind of come back into. And we will pause it and we will slow it down. We have 5 minutes to go. We'll probably just put the speed up slightly more. There's Carter Jr. with some free throws and block and back in. He's fouled again. So Carter Jr. causing all kinds of foul trouble for this Celtics team. We have 5 minutes left. We are up by 13. They really do need a miracle now as Jason Tatum whacks in the 3-pointer to put 30 points to his name for this game. 10-point gap now. It's going to be really tough for them to come back into this. They do need to make some shots and they get a foul and a shot there. Oh, we're down to 9 points now with 4 minutes to go. This could be an interesting few minutes if they can continue to make stops and continue to basically put the basket in at the other end. But we're going to run down the clock here. We miss there. Carter Jr. grabs the rebound, but they grab on the fast break. It's now a 7-point game. We need a score here, to be perfectly honest with you, just to make it comfortable for the last few minutes or so. Into Clark. Clark gets it and gets the foul on him. We put it back up to 9 with 3.5 to go. And Rose makes the shot there. Back to a 7-point game. And dead ball turnover. Okay, so we lost the ball there. Pitched out there. And I'm not sure. Oh, okay, so he made the shot. I didn't realise he made the shot there. Derrick Rose made the shot. 10-point game now, though. As they move in, Rose hits the shot again. He's sort of going overdrive in this final fourth quarter here to try and bring the Celtics back. But Carter Jr. just goes in and buries it on the drive and dunk. And 1 minute 54 to go, 10-point game. I think this one is pretty much over now. We've just done enough in this final couple of minutes to get the job done, and we are going to sweep the Boston Celtics. Sweep them. I honestly did not see that happening. That's phenomenal. But yeah, oh my goodness me. Carter Jr. grabs it. We go down the other end. Time running out now. Just a case of Carter Jr. grabbing the rebound and putting the putback in as well. Well, I think this has been an absolute shock. I think we have certainly stunned the Boston Celtics there, and this Bulls team has certainly surprised me. I did not expect to go through in this one. I thought Tatum would just be too much for us to handle, but we win this one comfortably in the end by 16. And Jackson Jr. there, 26 and 15, 4 blocks and a steal in this one, as we shoot 50% from field goal range, only the 12 turnovers, pretty much looking very, very good in this one in the end. The first half kind of made it for us. Derrick Rose did his best from the bench to try and help out with Tatum, but nobody else really supported those two really in this one, as we sweep the series. Definitely unexpected. Did not see that happening. So let's have a little look and see how the rest of the players have gone. Wow, okay. So the Bucks have swept the Pacers as well. So we will be up against the Milwaukee Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals. And on the Western Conference side, Nuggets and Suns are tied up, and the Lakers have a chance to get through against the Warriors in their next game. So let's see how that goes. So Warriors have pegged them back. It's both 3-2 now. Suns and Lakers to try and get through or force a Game 7. Oh my goodness me, they've both gone to a Game 7. The Nuggets and the Suns and the Warriors Lakers. Who is going to go through in this one? I can see Phoenix has gone through in 7 games there. However, and the Lakers have gone through. So the finals are set in both conferences. The Lakers are up against the Suns, and the Bucks are up against us. It's going to be a fascinating matchup. I'm just shocked. I'm just still shocked. You can probably tell by my my voice. I am so shocked that us as a Bulls team have managed to get through to the Eastern Conference Finals in our first season. What was probably meant to be a bit of a rebuild season. A couple of drastic trades, and we've managed to get ourselves into a position where we are one series away from being in the NBA Finals. Tough matchup here against the Milwaukee Bucks. We'll come back next time. We'll have a little bit of a review and have a think about what strategy we're going to use. But interested to hear your thoughts. I mean, did you guys think that we would sweep the Celtics, or were you with me in thinking that might have been our ticket home at that point? I certainly did not expect that. What do you guys think in terms of the Lakers Suns game? Who do you see going through in that one? And what things do we need to maybe consider for when we play the Bucks in this Eastern Conference Finals? I mean, on paper they have a pretty good roster, and they obviously have a certain man that we're going to have to try and stop at all costs as well. It's going to be a tough matchup, but I'm really excited for it. I honestly did not expect this Bulls team to be in the Eastern Conference Finals in Season 1. And well, we're just going to enjoy the ride, haven't we, guys? And if you are enjoying the ride, please hit the like and subscribe button, and continue to follow us along as we carry on under the Bulls rebuild in Draft Day Sports Pro Basketball 21.